Is everyone ready?
We should do worst sequels of all time. That actually might be crazy.
Yeah,
everyone
the
ready?
second game without Jokic.
Oh, what is up, everybody, and welcome to the Losers Lounge. Not just any Losers Lounge, a Toyota Losers Lounge. Look at the Toyota climbing the bird call. What a work of art by super producer Kale.
Wow.
Just climbing up there, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. We're also presented by Bet365. How'd we do today, Dev?
We didn't do it today.
I mean, look, I forgive you. Because you've been on a heater when it's the Nuggets. But you take out Yoke, who knows what's going to happen, man?
Are they still considered the Nuggets?
I don't think they are, to be honest. I don't know. I guess they technically are. Download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Nuggets fall 105-90 to the Memphis Grizzlies in the first of two games in Memphis and the second game in a row without Nikola Jokic. To break it all down, the man in black, Brendan Charles Vogt.
Here's what I got for you. At
Oh,
home.
yeah? Salud.
Tall glass. Givali.
That looks like a little tequila.
It's Rakia, brother.
Oh, that's Rakia?
Hard,
My guy, dude.
Hard times make Rakia men. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Is
So
that a
true,
sentence?
man.
A sting?
It kind of made sense to me. Over here, Superstar Dev.
I'm in such a great mood. I got to watch that game.
Yeah?
But not only watch the game, I got to talk about it the entire
During
time
the
that I
game.
watched
Yeah.
that game right there.
But now that it's over?
I feel horrible. I cannot believe I put myself through that. It is wild.
I mean, 2 games without Yoke. You want to see how does the team look? They lose the first one. I thought they looked bad. All right, how do you respond to it?
A lot of pride, I'm sure.
A lot of pride. Not the case tonight, man. Actually, that's going to be one of the big takeaways. But before we get to big takeaways, let's do a fast breakdown. And I'm going to tell you, when they get blown out, fast breakdowns really quick. Really quick. First note, good start for the Nuggets. Kel, you remember that?
Yeah, it was great.
Dude, that was such a good start, man. They were up
Banger.
I can't remember, 15-9 or something. I was like, all right, there it is. But then Zach Edey checked in, and it changed the game a lot. He checks in early, which means DeAndre checks in early. Did a decent job on him, but the Nuggets could not score in the paint. Bench did okay, but coughed up the lead. They were up, it wasn't a minus 15 like last game when the bench came in. It was only merely, I think, a minus 7 in that first stint. Second quarter, you get Saric, Vlatko minutes. Because Edey came in, DeAndre comes in early, which means to start the second, you're going back to Saric, and you give him Vlatko alongside. How did it go? 10-1 run for the Grizzlies. Not their fault. I'm just saying that run right there. The Nuggets got nothing, and the game felt like it was over there. The Nuggets did cut it to 7 with 3 minutes to go, and you thought, all right, get this to 5. It's just the game resets at halftime. Memphis called a timeout, went on a 5-0 run, and on the last play of the half, guys, the last play, Nuggets miss a shot, Bane grabs the board, goes coast to coast, pushed it to 12, and it just felt like, don't get beat in transition. 5 seconds on the clock before halftime, just don't get beat in transition. And they get beat for a layup. And it was 55-43 Grizz at the half. And then the third quarter, so now is where your pride is on the line. You're down big. You're down 12 points coming out of the break. Where are you at? Absolutely embarrassing start to the third quarter. Embarrassing. It's one thing if you miss shots. It's one thing if the other team's hitting shots. But that wasn't the case. Turnovers, offensive rebounds, just no spirit. Julian got it going in the third. I thought he had a bad first half overall. In the third, he hit back-to-back threes. Ended up, how many points did he end up with tonight? 19. And third quarter, was a lot of them. But horrible transition defense too, man. You talk about turnovers, offensive rebounds, transition. You can't give up. You don't have Yoke. You can't get beat on those plays. And Denver wasn't even matched up in transition. It was 84-64 Grizz at the end of the third. The Nuggets made what I would call a false comeback in the fourth quarter. A false comeback to merely lose by 15 points. They actually got it, I think they got it to 10, and you thought, okay, you can cut it down. Now all of a sudden a team gets nervous. They couldn't make a shot. Couldn't make a play. It wasn't even making a shot. They couldn't make a play at that moment, which the game was over. If they would have come back then, it would have felt a little fluky, but whatever. They had a chance and they didn't pull it off. Nuggets fall 105-90. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. Dev, start us off.
My Red Hawk Roof and big takeaway is there was a UFC fight last night that Jamal Murray made the choice to go to, which I truly did think was a very brave decision.
Brave is one word for it.
Considering like how bad he's been playing lately, how loud the noise has been, and this was a time to be able to re-level yourself. But also, if you make that type of a decision, you better have that type of game where you say, I'm unbothered.
Yeah.
He was unbothered, but in the worst of ways. He is on a max contract. Michael Porter Jr. on a max contract. If you were to just like look this was your first time looking at this team, and you said who are the two best players on the court right now, you wouldn't have chose those two. That's alarming. That's scary. Jamal has to be better, and this is not just one game. This is not just two games. This is things that everyone has been seeing, for a while, and the excuses have to stop. He looks like shit right now.
He looks terrible, man, and I'm going to pull on what you said here because, again, players can do what they want. They get permission from the team. You can do what you want. But to your point, playing for a team, one of the reasons we love sports is you want to be inspired. It's why these guys make so much money is it's an inspiration to all of us regular people of, hey, this is what it's like when you put your body on the line, when you give it your all and what you have. And, again, you're coming off a horrible game in New Orleans. You go and do that, and it's like, you know what? You come out here and you set a tone for the whole team. People got really mad at me, man, with some of my Jamal stuff over the summer, really for the last, quite a while. But, again, I don't say this stuff out of, no knowledge or no information. I'm not a hater. I want to love Jamal. But my concern with him is, what is his care factor? What is his leadership factor? And to your point, you go on a trip like that, team shorthanded, they need to feel inspired, come out with, a big performance. Didn't come out, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Gets a little bit of everything, 6 of 15 shooting, 6 turnovers. Just wasn't up for the challenge tonight again. And this whole season just comes down to Jamal, man. There's a bunch of other margins and stuff that I would love to analyze, but the truth is none of those matter unless Jamal is a great player. And once again, an unimpressive performance from him.
People in our chats in the watch along, thank you for those of you who stuck with us.
Real ones, man. First teamers, no question. Everybody that hung out with the watch along, everybody watching this specific Losers Lounge, real ones.
They sort of pointed out that, Murray, in addition to not being efficient or productive, his effort stands out too. Or as in, it's not popping. And it's not to say that he's quitting more than other guys or not playing hard on some possessions, right? But it's here's the way I want to frame it. You can't get outplayed and out-hustled by a role player. If you're matched up with a role player and they out-hustle you, well, it better be at least because you're so good and you outproduced and you outperformed them. And right now, Murray's kind of doing neither. So I do think some people would feel even better with, okay, another inefficient scoring performance. Did you feel like Murray was flying around out there? No. That's another thing he could have done to help himself out after going to that event. And pulling on that thread too, Jokic just missed a couple of games for personal reasons that when we all get to talk about it, everybody knows what it is.
But we're not talking about it.
Family wishes are not to say it. Fine, we won't say it. When he comes back, it's going to look like a pretty good reason. It is still the case that Jokic just missed 2 games. Malone just went to a volleyball game last game before, and then Murray
for his kid,
first kid, which is these are better excuses than what. But then Murray makes this quick trip, and you've got a 4:00 start, and it just feels like, oh man, you had that great 5-game win streak.
By the way, Jamal was not a part of all of that,
and then it's not taken very seriously. And now, I appreciate Malone's fatherhood moment, but it's also a coach who wasn't there last game, and then this. Jamal cited the UFC game and then doesn't play very well. And so, again, I know why Jokic is gone. I'm not criticizing him. But there's a sort of picture here of man, it doesn't really look like you guys wanted this road trip too badly. You know? It doesn't look that way. And on top of that, the way it looks on the floor.
Yeah.
So again, just to be very clear, I am not criticizing Jokic for these personal reasons.
And to be fair with you, man, fatherhood is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. And, Malone misses for his daughter's championship volleyball game. To me, I'm also brother, if that were me, I would have missed too. I would have absolutely missed. So I'm not even, for me personally, but you are right that you want to have a structure in place that it's like, you guys are listening for good, but we got you because we're taking, and the ones that are here, we got you.
So
and it's
Yoke's gone and Malone's gone, and then, Murray's gone and then doesn't play well. By the way, just to be very, very clear, no, I am not saying the family stuff is the same as the MMA. I'm just saying, like,
right.
You get this feeling now of right after the 5-game winning streak where, okay, they want this, the train's back on the tracks. It doesn't really seem like the guys on the floor really want it that bad. So that's another part of it that's disappointing as well, especially after all the Hunter talk. Again, Jokic, we'll find out. It's a very good reason.
Yeah. Red Hawk Roofing, big takeaway?
It doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well for the non-Jokic minutes. I think that the starters will look very good around Jokic, which they have this season. And they did just rattle off those 5 games. And Jokic will come back, and in those minutes, they'll look very, very good. My opinion on that doesn't change because they can't win without Jokic. Having said that, we all wanted to say or feel like the minutes are going to be different for Jokic going forward, and then he can't play 43 or whatever. And this doesn't inspire a lot of hope or confidence. And I will say, well, even I have been hard on the coaching staff for their inability to look good without Jokic on the floor. Part of it is most teams are able to throw their other max contract guys out there. And both Jamal and Mike, in terms of consistently, have not been able to buoy non-Jokic minutes. So, by the way, I'm not saying Jokic shouldn't have gone, chat. That's not what I'm saying. It just, you have this feeling now of like, oh, everything was coming together, and then we'll sort of let go of the rope on and off the court. Coach misses a game, Murray's in Vegas. It just stinks. It's hard to be like, oh, they took it really seriously. It doesn't feel that way right now to me.
Yeah. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is adjacent to what we just talked about, and that is, I am so worried about, like, Jokic elevates so much that it disguises certain traits and qualities of the team. He's such a great player, and I think such a great leader in his own way. He obviously has some holes in his leadership, but he is a great leader in many, many, many ways. And because of that, you almost don't see some of the things that are going on. But I worry that tonight's game, there was a little bit of selfishness, I thought, today. There was a lot of just not seeming to care that much. And it's like you remove the Jokic part of that, and all of a sudden you kind of look in all the cracks and crevices and you see things that you don't feel good about. And an NBA team, people I don't think really understand how what's cool about basketball is there's individual agendas. Young guys that have to make a name for themselves to get paid. They want to, I don't want to just be a get to the corner guy. I don't want to just be a play defense guy. I want to be a little bit of everything. You have to, and a lot of that is real stuff. You got to worry about yourself and your family, and get an opportunity and taking the most of it is a real thing. But what's great about basketball is you have to find a way to counterbalance those things with sacrificing things for your team. It's the perfect blend, in my opinion, of individual and team sport. Take Jokic out of the equation, and it was so disheartening because I thought there was selfish play tonight. I thought there was lazy play, uninspired play, dribbling the clock out on numerous possessions when you're like, guys, it's time to go. It's time to go. In a way that you watch and you go, this team, I mean, this is going to sound incendiary. We all watch. We pay ticket prices. We do all this stuff because we want to be inspired. That was not inspired. I was not inspired these last 2 games at all. I was supremely uninspired by the effort, the individual sacrifice, all of those things. It was just like, you're like, this is an unlikable team. These last 2 games, I'm containing it to that.
Right.
It's
these
82 games, you get an opportunity to grow and to change and to evolve. But these last 2 games were like, that was really uninspiring.
Very uninspiring. And you also talked about, a few points that is like beyond just the Jokic. Like, the team did not play as a team in these last couple of games, and you could see like those individual outlooks and like things that they truly wanted. But the team also shapes to whatever their leader is of that night. Like when you go back to like the bailout game, Reggie stepped up. DeAndre Jordan stepped up in those ways that like they brought it on.
We'll always remember this random game Jokic didn't play. We'll always remember it because of that.
I mean, even Jamal was not there. So it was like the other guys were like, hey, I'm going to have to do a little bit more. I'm going to have to dig deeper. I'm going to have to play harder. This was the same situation where everyone else should have came together as a team and said, we have to play harder to, be there for our guy. He's not here, so now this is it's not even about this is our time to shine. It's like our time to finally carry him.
Have his back.
He's not there.
Yes,
Let's have his back. So it isn't just that. It's like, okay, what is the mantra of the team? What is the feel for the team? Are they going to go through that together? Are they going to play hard? Is there going to be energy? Or guys, I was just waiting for somebody to step up, in that way. And you would assume, and I'm not there or anything, but you would assume that Westbrook would be the guy that's I'm pissed. This is not, this is not how you're supposed to play. Call guys out, make them play harder. That just felt like a letdown. We don't care. We're okay. We'll figure it out, or he'll be back soon. I hate that mentality that they had.
100%. It was a frustrating one, and I wonder what poor Yoke. We're gonna go to break, but I wonder what poor Yoke thought watching this game, because he does do so much and he takes on that responsibility. We love him because a lesser man would look at this team and maybe demand certain things and be upset, this or that. He looks at it and goes, I'm part of the team, not separate from them, so this is my problem to solve. But what does he think watching this one and watching the effort, the selfishness? Does he sit there and go I hope he calls them out. I hope if he flies in tomorrow, he gets there and goes, guys, what the hell was that? What was that? Just waiting for me to come back and save things. But let's go to break.
That's what I was getting at.
And let's go to break. On the other side, we're going to break down some more of this. We're going to try to look at some silver linings. But we'll go to break and get to it on the other side.
Okay, well, if you were watching the watch-along tonight, you watched us eat some bird call. May have been the highlight of the night. Both for the chat and us. We enjoyed some bird call.
Go get yourself some bird call. That was delicious.
We put together it looks like a care package. It's actually just their bird in a box, which is something you can get as well, because they've dropped it for the public. The bird in a box, people are going crazy over it. I went crazy over it during that watch-along. Here's how it works. For just $9.95, you can build your own bird in a box and your choice of 2 crispy sliders or 1 slider and 2 tenders, plus tots or fries, pickles, and
that's
one
what
of their
I recommend.
signature sauces.
Get a little bit of all of it. Get the whole sampler going. That's what we got tonight.
If you like it spicy, you can upgrade to Nashville hot tenders, which I think is what
I had. Is that what we had? That's what we had. It was a little spicy. I'm not gonna lie.
It was spicy.
A little spicy.
Bird Call was hatched in Denver, Colorado. Now they have 8 restaurants across the Front Range, with more opening soon. Get over to Bird Call and get your hands on a bird in a box right now. DNVR fans can score 20% off at Bird Call with promo code DNVR. Again, get down to Bird Call or order online at eatbirdcall.com and grab this offer now through the end of the month. Let's talk about goals for a minute. How are you tracking the ones you set for your business earlier this year? Are you close? If not, do you know why you're not close? You have year-end goals. Constant Contact has what it takes to help you meet them faster. No matter how experienced you are with digital marketing, Constant Contact has the tools to make your marketing run smoother, sell more, raise more, and build more genuine relationships with your audience. With Constant Contact's suite of digital marketing tools, it's time to put the go in your 2024 business goals with email, social, SMS, and customized marketing campaigns built for you in just a few clicks. Ready, set, go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity and start your free trial today. Go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity for your free trial.
There you go. We are back. Real ones in the chat right now. Real ones watching this Losers Lounge. We really appreciate you. I want to, rather than break this down player by player, I think we should go and play a little game, Level of Concern. And Kale, we have the graphic. Usually we do this of opt confidence scale. I guess scale of confidence technically works. Technically. You might have to throw this up every time we go to it. What's your level of confidence right now? I'll start on this side this time for Jamal Murray. And here's the thing. The real question is how long until it's full panic meter. But right now, what's your confidence level that Jamal, this is just his early season malaise? He's always bad in November.
I would say that's the only reason it's not full-blown panic. It's a tier above panic.
Oh, wait, what was it? Hold on a second, Kel. Throw it back up again.
Is it on the
quick.
Short side? Is that me? Is it me?
Is it Brendan Vogt?
On the short side, or I guess what's the lowest I can go?
Understandably low, yeah.
I'll go with understandably low.
All right, yeah.
Because I think it's understandable, man. I think everyone feels the same way. And
yeah.
I was pretty critical of Jamal last year, and since then I felt like he's really gotten it from everywhere. as has been well earned, as is deserved, I think.
100%, man.
But the criticism is coming, and I think everyone's been on the same page for the most part. So I've almost felt like, all right, everyone sees it. You know, no point to make it my personal high score and dunking on the guy.
Why?
But I'm saying, I'm just saying because I'm not. I think everyone agrees. So I'm not saying. I'm saying
Because it'd be boring just to kind of rehash.
I just don't feel like I need to hammer it 1,000. I mean, it's like it is the point, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't feel like I need to convince people of this. Is my point. And, look, man, I think everyone sees it, and I would say the fact that he's usually slow in to start seasons, which is a criticism in and of itself, is the only reason you can hold out hope. But the thing about last year and the injuries is it makes it really, really hard to say, well, he'll be better in the playoffs. He was that one time, but will he? We don't know.
2 times.
But that just feels like the benefit of the doubt is shrinking every day. So, like everyone else, I am understandably low on Jamal Murray right now because I think everyone should be low on Jamal Murray right now.
Yeah.
I'm on the short side. Like you said, everybody is seemingly low on Jamal Murray. Besides Jamal Murray.
That's the thing that hurts so much. That's actually it in a nutshell. The one person on earth that isn't upset or seemingly upset seems to be Jamal.
That's why I don't want to be all the way down because he's not down. He hasn't even mentioned it. It's still the same rhetorics. It's still the same defense, being defensive in ways like that. And he hasn't even mentioned that he's in a funk or not playing well. And I think a lot of players are aware when they're not playing up to their standards or their expectations of themselves are so high. I do think he has high expectations for himself, but he doesn't seem like it doesn't appear that he feels that he's playing as bad as the rest of the world does. That's why he makes those type of decisions of going, to see a UFC fight when it's already been a back and forth about UFC. They're without their best player. He hasn't stepped up. I know we're going to continue to mention the contract because you have to mention the contract, but he's not even playing up to his own standards. So I am low on him. I do think that he is going to have some ups where he's just going to, bounce back and feel like he's all the way back. But when you put up so many bad games in a row, we need more than 1 or 2 good games. You have to really put some things together. You have to string a long stretch where you truly look like yourself, and he's so far from himself right now.
That's it. We like the back-o-meter. It's a fun bit. But do I actually think he's back if he comes out and scores?
I thought we retired it.
If he scores 35 in one game, I'm not going to sit here and say he's back. I'm going to say I'm glad he scored 35 tonight. But they need that from Jamal. They do.
Norman Powell gets to have good nights every now and then.
Look, and
that caliber player.
And I think
Dante DiVincenzo. Oh man, he had a 35-point game tonight.
Right.
Good. Like he's bought himself a little bit. Not Jamal.
And I think Dev's point is pretty salient, man. I think it's pretty spot on. It's one of the many reasons why it's not as easy as it always looks to be a professional athlete. But sometimes in his answers, I think Jamal can deflect pretty hard when things aren't going well.
Yep.
Sometimes he leaves early when things aren't going well. That's real. So I'm not bringing that up just to go, we have a green light to take some shots. It's, does this add up to a picture that makes you think, all right, he's this close. He's this close to getting it and turning it around. Right now, I'd say no. So that's why it's frustrating. That's why it's scary to me.
There was, with Jamal, we all kind of wondered the signs about how because I see some people saying it's just injury. I don't think that's it. I really do not think that's it. I mean, the injuries obviously have made an impact on him. I think the psychological part of those injuries probably as much as the physical parts. But he's not injured. Per Jamal Murray, he's not injured. I don't think that this is an injury thing. I don't think it's he lost his explosiveness. A lot of guys have altered their game post-injury. A lot of guys have bounced back from injury. I don't think it's that, and I don't think it's a fair excuse to just say, oh, man, the injury zapped him of his career. People said that of Steph Curry in 2012. Injury zapped him of the opportunity. Guess what he went on to do? Win 4 championships, become one of the greatest players of all time. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles at 32 years old. Still out there hooping, still out there balling. I'm not saying the injuries haven't had an impact. I'm saying they haven't had this impact. And, I remember just talking with different people, even around the league, not even just with the Nuggets, around the league, about Jamal, because he's such an enigma. He shows up in the playoffs. And I remember somebody told me one time, that's all cool, and he always shows up in the playoffs. But the first time he doesn't, That's where that whole narrative goes out.
That
and
door swings open.
Last year was that year, and then you follow it up with a rough summer, which again, if it was just the summer, I could say, well, he's coming off some injuries. It's just the summer. You get even more of an extended break. You come into the season, and you're still looking like it. And I'm telling you, he is a better player than what he is showing. But it comes down now to how much responsibility he can manage. He has the talent for it. I really believe he has the talent for it. But how much responsibility can he manage? And it just has not been up to snuff. So understandably low. I mean, that's the lowest we have on our scale, and that's where I have. But at the same time, I believe Jamal Murray to be a significantly better player, leader, all of those things. He has it in him to be that. And there's time for him to get there. But it's so discouraging that we're once again talking about a slow start.
Especially after the early contract extension, which I think has to be stressed. It wasn't just that they said, our hands are tied, we're going to give this to you. It's, hey, we still believe in you. We're going to give it to you a little early, even again.
Yeah.
And so missing shots is one thing, but I think the energy, the perceived leadership, and we're not in the huddles, but you're sure it's not popping off the screen.
There was the play, though, the one that killed me in this game, and on the live stream we were talking about it, the clock's down to like 10 seconds. Nuggets are down, it's like you got to kind of get things going. Jamal Murray kind of dribbles in place for like 10 dribbles. Then he drives, thinks he gets fouled, looks at the ref, and kind of does this one. There's still like 4 seconds on the clock. You're like, hey, you still have to get a shot off. And he just kind of like throws the ball up like whatever. And you're like, no, not whatever, man. Yeah. Those are the moments you get paid for. Late clock, you got to deliver. And he didn't even seem up for the challenge. All right, enough about Jamal. What about the non-Jokic minutes as a whole? We're talking about this in-game. There's always non-Jokic minutes, but we just got 100 non-Jokic minutes over these last 2 games. How concerned are you about that getting solved?
What was it, like the measured?
Okay, that was the medium one. That's the wind.
The medium. I mean, these are a lot of young guys that they're still learning Jokic ball. Like, these are not vets that have been around a long time. They don't have a lot of minutes under their belt. They're playing with new guys a lot of times, and I really still think that they're trying to learn what that system is and what it looks like. And they've had their big man. They've had their guy. So like, I just feel like they are still trying to learn and trying to find their way. But also, they're also going through. They have 2 max contract players alongside them. How do I fit in alongside this guy? And also, are they gonna step up? Are they gonna shoot the ball? Am I supposed to take a back seat here at times? So I think that it's guys that we've been wanting so badly to play their role. Now they're not able to play their role, and they're trying to explore their game when that's not what you want from these players right now. So I think it's a little bit of, I just want them to continue to play their role and get comfortable in that spot, because when he returns, that's the formula. That's what they want to play. So I'm not like all the way down on that. I'm just like, okay, I'm chill.
Sorry, I was so fired up about Jamal. Are we talking Booth boys or non-Jokic minutes?
Non-Jokic
minutes. On the short side?
Little concerned.
Or it's actually our second most concerned.
Yeah, but halfway, because the thing is so weird.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not heating up.
I mean, I'm definitely worried about it. I've been worried about it every year of the Jokic tenure. I am hopeful AG and Jokic come back. Watson's been better. Strother's been a little better. That at least you cross your fingers and go, these are guys, to Dev's point, that get better as the season goes on. So it's the only reason I'm not going to go with pointless or hopeless, I think. But again, I mean, I don't... It's more that I wish that it had found a way to be better this year. But I don't ever hold my breath for these minutes to go well.
I think I'm in the middle with a shade towards the downside. I'm kind of in the middle just because the Nuggets bench is always terrible, and it is early in the year. The Nuggets bench hasn't actually played that much together because Murray's been out and now Jokic's out. Like, they actually haven't had a chance to really gain a rhythm. Even what we saw tonight is not the lineup we're most likely to see. There are some positive signs. We'll get to them in the next segment, but Julian Strother, Dario Saric, over these last couple games have gotten a little bit going. So there is some room for positive improvement there. We're going to have to see the minutes. We're going to have to see it a little bit more. So I'm in the middle. I still am holding out hope that the Nuggets can carve out an identity. The thing that pushes me slightly more towards the negative side is conceptually Westbrook and Dario Saric just don't make sense to me. And even now they're kind of split up since Dario's in the starting lineup. But when you put them back together, Dario's looked good these last few games. But will he look good next to Westbrook? I kind of doubt it. Let's go to Dario Saric. Start on this side again this time. Where are you at on Dario Saric? Levels of a concern.
I would say on the short side, again, it's obviously, if we're doing stock report, it's up.
It's up from.
It's a vertical line up from zero.
Yeah.
But I also know that's because he played with a different group and the play style was different. Like, I hope well for his confidence going forward, but I don't know if you can just port this down to the bench lineup. The incompatibility of Saric and Westbrook seems very real, and not just the way it's played out or circumstantial, but rather not a fit because of two drastically different speeds. So cool to see Saric play better with this group, but I don't know if you feel like he's going to be great with the bench unit. In fact, I don't think he is. So
I'm like getting on the bright side. What's right in front of the measured?
You heating up.
I'm heating up on him. He got 32 minutes in this game. Last game, it was about the rebounding was a huge concern, and his effort level of just competing there. That's a pretty decent rebound. He had Edie, and he also had Jaren Jackson, who was a little bit more active today, and he got 10 rebounds. He's also getting minutes, and we're seeing that he could play long stints. You're not able to play, DeAndre Jordan 32 minutes. If you had Zeke out there for 32 minutes, things would have been rough right now. Dario Saric looked like he belongs. It's we're not looking at him the same way that we were a few weeks ago, where he's untouchable. He's unplayable. You have to keep him on the bench the entire time. So I do think that that's a positive that you could look at right now, is they have a big body that can compete at those times.
I think for me, I'm probably in the middle. Again, I'm just worried about the sit fit with him and Westbrook, because I think the thing he's going to have to do with Westbrook is hit threes. Tonight, he played well. He made some passes. He did some stuff, but the defense does not guard him. They'll guard him if he's inside, but he's probably not good enough to be inside a lot.
Right.
He's going to have to pick and pop,
Right.
and on those plays, they're just not guarding him. And tonight, he was open a lot. They didn't pass it. I thought PWAT was open a lot tonight. They didn't pass it. There was a lot of we're not passing. We're not swinging the ball tonight. Guys trying to make play. That's why I said I thought it was a little selfish tonight. But Dario, should you swing the ball to him? First of all, yes, because you got to just let him. If they're going to guard you that way, you got to punish him. But am I confident that if that is what it takes for him to be playable next to Westbrook? I'm not confident, man. So that one I think is a little concerned.
yeah.
Peyton Watson, where are we at with him, Deb? We got a break? Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we're actually not going to sit here and wallow the whole time. We're going to have a fun little squinting for optimism take coming on the other side. As hard as that may be.
It's actually challenge level impossible.
Impossible.
But we're going to try to do it.
But we're going to do it.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Ted. Like the new Inner Circle membership program. They've got great snacks. They've got gas. They've got all your convenience to go stuff. Look, sometimes you just got to pull off the road real quick, whether you're driving your friends, whether you're driving Lyft, whether it's a solo trip, got to refuel. And when you're on the Inner Circle, you can refuel with the best deals that Circle K has to offer. Go ahead and download the app. There's a free membership. Just enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. And then you're going to start getting deals every day, like 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 fill-ups. And that will add up. So go ahead, download the Circle K app and sign for Inner Circle for exclusive offers. New offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded weekly. Again, sign up for the Inner Circle membership program at Circle K. And Westera Credit Union. Education is the name of the game for them. They were founded in 1934 here in Colorado with 9 locations in the Denver area, and they are all about helping their members financially prosper, especially through the lens of education, which is their thing, because they were started by a group of 8 school teachers teaching, helping others. It's in their DNA. And as a member, you see just the friendliness, the openness come through in every interaction. Their smart money checking account is awesome. For those who want to make small balances, earn big returns. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing with your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney for more details. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply.
All right, we are back. I got Bang 4 in the chat. We said we're going to be squinting for silver linings. He said hallucinating for silver linings. You guys ready to hallucinate?
Just taking peyote.
Kel, can you give me 5 minutes on the clock? All right, new rule, challenge level, extremely difficult. 5 minutes on the clock. No one can say anything negative. All right? Nobody can say a single negative thing about the Denver Nuggets for 5 minutes. All right, I'm gonna start you one here. Julian Strawther quietly up to 38.3% from 3 on the year. Quietly, very quietly. 4 of 7 tonight. Didn't necessarily look good in the first half, but in the second half, got it going a little bit.
You need a young guy that can step up and just make some shots.
Yeah.
And that's what Julian's doing right now. This was a game where he had his shot going, and a couple of them didn't fall, but that does not deter him. He is still going to continue to shoot. He's still going to be shot ready every single time, and I felt like it was a little like Summer League. He looks comfortable. Even if his shot's not falling, he's like, okay, I'm going to still, I'm still going to run off of these screens with the same type of energy. I feel like there was a couple of defensive plays, and we know that there's a lot of defensive plays where he's not there. He was there, at some of those times. So I think that Julian Strawther had a game where, first off, he led the team in scoring.
Which is crazy. Off the bench, he led the team in scoring.
Careful.
No, it's not that crazy.
It's crazy because it was nice to see a young guy step up.
He's stepping up.
Dang it, level impossible. I didn't even make it a minute.
Under 60
All right,
seconds.
Sorry.
Gotta
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's the rule.
My bad, team. We were so close. Well, we were.
And
that
it was a positive person. You made us have to start the time go.
Oh, all right. My bad.
All right, we're on the clock.
He led the team in scoring, man, off the bench.
That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
4 of 7 from 3 too, Dev, and a little concern about some inconsistency out of the gate. Is Julian Strawther a shooter? Well, tonight he was. 4 of 7 from 3, 57%. I think he was hovering around 35 coming into the game, so that's a nice improvement statistically. Julian, the 3-point percentage definitely went up tonight.
He also he was also a facilitator. He had 3 assists in this game.
All right.
Got out on the break. So it wasn't just like straight, you shoot the ball and that's it. Like he competed. And found ways to try to get the offense still going. You want to see that in your young guy.
You said something very interesting when you were breaking him down, which was he's not afraid to shoot. He keeps attacking. I think that is a prerequisite to becoming good, because it's easy to get discouraged when you're out there like, man, shot's not falling, and now you're passing up shots. He doesn't have that. He is going to be aggressive, and that's why I do think he will get over the hump. Is it this year? Is it next? I don't know. But I do think that he has the ability and the mindset of, I got to do the things that I have to become. I have to play the way I have to become, whether it's working or not. And nights like tonight, it was actually working, and it was really, really nice to see. 4
rebounds as well, and statistically, I don't think it's that Julian is racking up rebounds per se so much as in the last 3 or 4 games I have seen, oh, that was a really good rebounder. Oh, they really needed one there.
Yeah.
So some ways in which he's battling, to maybe mitigate some of the ways in which he's not.
We mentioned, Vlatko Chanchar getting out there has been nice to see. I think that he is a guy that you can see value that he has. He played some good defense. There was some stuff there.
Yeah, did you see that dunk?
He had a dunk?
That's athleticism after an injury. Where it looked like he was just going to go for a layup, turn the ball over, and went to go dunk it. And then also, this is another player that you could throw out there at times if you're going to need a backup center option.
Yeah.
Vlatko is a player that can play multiple positions.
Power forward tonight mostly.
Power forward most of the time. You can step out on a center. You don't feel like he's just going to get attacked or singled out every single time out there. And he looks like he's moving, a lot better. So he is starting to, feel a little bit healthier. This is a guy that was injured, to start out the year. He's just now getting himself back out there and playing shape. So I like that. There was positive plays from him.
You have a Vlatko take?
It's good to see him back. It's good to see him back out there.
It's good to see him.
It is good to see him back out there.
I got more squinting at Silver Linings here. There's squinting here. The NBA's kind of mid right now, fellas.
Yeah, it is
You
true.
want to know teams that feel good about themselves right now? Golden State Warriors. End of list. Who else feels good about themselves?
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland Cavaliers feel really good about themselves. Cleveland Cavaliers feel really good about themselves.
Incredible.
They look incredible. But you know what, man? It's cool. I'm glad it's the Cavs that feel good about themselves right now. They're a good team. I'm just saying, right now there's a lot of teams that shouldn't feel good. So Denver slugging through these two losses. Right now, you don't look around and go, there's no team right now that you're like, oh my God, they're amazing.
In your head, when your favorite team is really struggling in games they should win, the rest of the league is no one else has lost a game.
You're right.
That entire night.
Yeah.
Like everyone tore through it. And, look, the results are the results, and you got to win or you got to lose. The healthy Lakers were in a dogfight with that same Pelicans team the next night, second night of a back-to-back. It took Tatum traveling to beat Toronto. So not every team is their best version of themselves every night. And at least it's not like the Nuggets are at the bottom of the standings watching 6 teams run away from them.
Yeah. NBA's kind of mid, Dev.
NBA's kind of mid, and I mean, even to bring it back to this Nuggets team, the last time that we seen them with, Nikola Jokic, they looked really good. Where you weren't thinking about the rest of the league, you weren't thinking about everybody else because you're like, hey, we have the best guy in basketball still. We're finding something. Things are starting to come together. Like there was positives. You looked like a contender the last time that you seen them, and they put together a stretch.
Yeah.
There. Now he's getting some rest, much needed rest, where he's gonna have to pick it back up and say, okay, I'm gonna finish out strong here. So I do think that while the rest of everyone else looks mid, not many other teams look super good right now. They're trying to figure it out. You're in that same spot, but again, you insert the best player in basketball, you start getting back to winning. So we are positive.
Hey,
we're positive.
Yeah, we made 5 minutes.
That said,
Talking slow. Hold on. I got one more squinting at silver lining here, and this is a tough one. I see so many people, man, all the time. Yoke demand a trade. Yoke do this. Get out of there, whatever. And I get it. I mean, some fans, that's the way they view life. That's the way they view everything. What a great story it'd be if the Nuggets do turn this around. Am I feeling, obviously, are we feeling great about Jamal right now? Mike had a rough night. Are we feeling great? Westbrook, are we feeling great? At the moment, we're not feeling great. But one of the things I love about Yoke and I love about basketball, it really is all about how all the pieces come together. They're a long way from it. We just came off a 5-game win streak where we're starting to feel like, hey, they're figuring it out. They're
feeling
fast.
pretty good.
They're defensive. They can do these different things. You take Yoke out of that equation, it all comes crumbling down. But right now, a lot of people are ready to throw in the towel. Yoke's not. And I love him for that. It's one of the things that makes him a better man than many of us. And what a great story if this team is able to coalesce and become something. I want to tell that story, and I hope it happens.
couldn't agree more. Look, there's no need to want something for Jokic that he doesn't yet want himself. If he ever wants it to a point where that changes, we'll all find out the hard way. But Jokic's process is oriented. He likes coming back. He likes coming back with groups and trying to get better. He likes solving puzzles. He likes playing with young guys. And they did win 5 in a row, even if they did have to play him a boatload of minutes. Look, both of these things are true about the Nuggets. They are a 1-win team, statistically, projection-wise, without Jokic.
Man, when you watch these last 2 games, by the way...
Hard to argue.
Honest to God, you're almost like, I wish we could simulate. All right, what's the season like just to get a real answer? But it's not pretty.
But they are also a 68-win pace team with Jokic.
That's incredible.
Jokic will come back, and how you feel about all these guys and how they fit alongside him will be better. There are still questions that need to be answered. Can they cut down on his minutes? Is Murray done?
Yeah.
So there are still questions to answer. Luckily, we actually do know that the starters look good alongside Jokic, so that will help. It's a good starting block.
This is the type of situation we write poems about. We make movies about. We sing songs about. It's impossible. It's a losing effort. It's a suicide mission. And then it's like, you know what? They come together, they get in the foxhole, and they overcome it. Let's see, Kel, what did you just give me as a timestamp? 43? All right, we'll take our last break. On the other side, we will get into our super chats, but we'll also, there are some more negatives to kind of get into, or just more analyzing this game that we will also obviously circle back to. That was tough. We did it, boys.
We did it. And when you can't just set a 5-minute clock and only say positive things to yourself or to people about your life, sometimes you need some professional help. And BetterHelp is there for you. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Overcome your fears. Become a better version of yourself with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DNVR today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DNVR to get some help. No one should have to go through it alone. You don't have to go through it alone. Consider reaching out to BetterHelp. And of course, Breck Brew is the official craft beer of DNVR. We love them. They have a lot of different beers for a lot of different occasions. And I like the way that they experiment with beer making, but they don't lose the core of a beer. When you go and you grab a cold one and you crack it open, you want it to feel a certain way. You want it to sound a certain way. And thankfully, it also tastes delicious at Breck Brew. Check out their new West Coast style IPA, the Ridge Runner. It's awesome. It looks great. And you can find it by punching it into the beer locator tool at breckbrew.com. Check out the beer locator tool to find a brew near you.
We back?
We're back. 90% sure we're back. We did too. We're back.
Final segment here. We appreciate all the real ones hanging out with us, even the ones yelling at us for trying to be positive. 5 minutes in an hour-long show, we tried to be positive. For some people, too much.
We should do a challenge where the chat has to be positive for 2 minutes.
Put it on the clock.
2 minutes.
Everybody's getting like a temper, not a ban, but what is the timeout if you say anything negative? Our comments just
It's
plummet.
all positive.
Did you get the graphic I just sent you? This is a tweet I had the other week, and it is like, it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. This is the bus meme. These lineups without Jokic kind of suck. That's the sad guys. But these lineups with Jokic kind of rule.
Yeah, that's the thing. We were liking the way they looked when they won 5 games in a row.
They got to figure some stuff out. Peyton Watson, to me, is an interesting guy to talk about. Only 28 minutes. The only guy who played more minutes was Michael Porter, and that was because Michael Porter, I don't think, played the fourth. But Peyton Watson was playing very few minutes. And to be honest with you, I didn't think he was that bad. He's an interesting player offensively in that I think he's going to float if you're, like if he's not involved. He's not the kind of guy that he would have to become selfish to kind of take over. But to me, he's a guy I look at and I just monitor his minutes because I watch him and I go, I think he's a good player that has a chance to be very good. And I want him playing a lot. I don't know if it's tough love or what. But both of these last 2 games, he's kind of gotten the short end of the stick minute-wise, and I didn't think there's guys I would talk about before him being bad.
Yeah, this is just like my idea when it comes to Peyton and his minutes is I truly think they don't want him to explore his game offensively. And right now he's put in a position that he is trying to score, where he is trying to make things happen. And they're like, no, we want you to key in on the defensive end. Like, that's where you're going to, make plays. That's what's going to be in your bread and butter if you're going to play in this league for a long time. So I really think that it's like, hey, let's manage how much he is stepping out of the norm of what we view Peyton Watson as. So I think they put him in like those situations where it's like, hey, no, we're going to put you in against, a specific type of matchup the entire time. When they check out, you're checking out. Like just enough of a leash that it's like, okay, you did those things that are positive on offense, but we want you to get back to that. So really, maybe he has specific things he's supposed to do each game. And if he doesn't do those, the leash is like cut short.
Yeah, that said, I felt like the last 2 games, he probably could have gone over 30 minutes. I agree, especially the last game where I thought he was maybe Denver's second best player. And, tonight, no turnovers. So 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, that's not a train off the tracks performance. It's not like you felt like he was a wild card out there. Have to go back and look at Blackburn's rotation charts. It's possible it was just a lineup versatility concern thing. But I felt like Peyton's played so well, there's just room to have gotten him 5 more minutes. Not to say that would have won them the game or anything like that. But I do think Peyton's playing well right now. And, coming off the hamstring injury, have you guys ever watched the videos or just seen a clip? I mean, everyone gets the reference, but have you ever actually seen it, like horse or giraffe, like giving birth or something, like a newborn trying to walk?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen that? And they're
Yeah.
like that for 3 games, that was Peyton on the basketball court, man.
Right.
Legs are flying around like at angles you've never seen. And it feels like he's taking a breath a little bit. It feels like everything is a bit more calm, cool, and collected. So I like the way he's been playing, but I was surprised he played under 30.
Yeah. One last thing here before we get to Super Chats. It's not just that Jokic is out. Aaron Gordon is also out. Do you think he would have made a meaningful difference over these last 2 games if he, how would things be different if he was playing but not Jokic?
I think that they compete a little bit harder.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more normalcy to the starting lineup, like with them out there. I think that right now they're still like tweaking with the backups. They're still tweaking with what the second unit looks like and things. So I do think that he just plays hard. He plays with like an edge that's like I'm gonna make other people play hard around me, and that's a contagious competitive, nature and spirit that he has. So yeah, I think that's where it would
And
be.
some leadership, like that.
Some
You get some
leadership.
leadership from him. What about you? Do you think AG makes a difference in these last 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, AG actually can. You wouldn't count on it, but you could. Once in a blue moon, AG gives you 33 and 10, and it not so much on this team, but it has happened in the past. It's just more depth, more fight, more boards. He's a guy who more often than not plays really hard. I've felt like in years past, in non-Jokic games, that they still lose anyway. We find ourselves talking about Aaron, and it's, well, his intensity was never the issue, right? Because I felt like this team sort of was like, okay, Jokic is going to miss 2 games. Guess we're going to lose 2 games. And I think AG has a bit more of a, no, what are we doing to win this in front of us in him? So, I don't know if it manifests in winning blowout games that you would have lost, but a bit more pushback, a bit more depth, maybe some sense of urgency.
Last one, I thought we were done, but I do have one more. With the effort tonight, because the effort is the part that kills me. You lose whatever, but just the spirit of the team tonight was not great. And when that happens consistently, and again, they're coming off of a 5-game win streak, so before these 2 losses, so I don't want to go too hard on it. But do you think Malone maybe, one way you play hard is you have your coaches back, or your coach just knows how to inspire you. Tonight, the guys didn't give that. Do you think there's any tuning out? I mean, some of the mistakes tonight, Vogt, transition defense, nobody's matched up. A guy gets a wide open layup or a wide open 3 because nobody got back. Some of that is is your coach's message lost? Because those are elementary things.
I think at a certain point it has to come from the players too. And I mean, Malone is the 3rd longest tenured coach in the league? 4th?
Popovich and Kerr longer, Spoelstra. He might be 4th.
Kerr 4th. It's a long time, man. So it's not even to say that you've done something to lose trust. If the same person yells at you to do the same thing every day for a long enough time, it does not resonate as much as if someone else were to make the same point. So I do think at some point it has to come from the players too, which I think is some of the stuff you really hoped would have come from Jamal. Not just how he was playing, but encouraging guys to play with the same fire, pulling guys aside. We missed that rotation. No, we should have gone, just the stuff that I think once upon a time we were hopeful that Murray would sort of become the fiery extension of the coach on the floor, and it hasn't really worked out that way. So yeah, I do think all these years later, sometimes Malone says, "Hey, you guys got to rebound," and everyone goes, "Yeah, you're right," but nothing changes.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what he said in post game, presser, just to what message that he's a coach that has typically called guys out through the media when it comes to effort and things like that. But also, I feel like he has evolved because this would have been a game, and this would have been a prime spot for you're playing this game again. You just had bad effort. I even go back to Chauncey Billups, last week. They got blown out. He called every single player on their team soft and questioned them competing. Right. They beat a team twice they had no business beating. But the thing was, he made a message on the court. You pull all of your starters out. Jamal, you want to play bad, you want to, give this type of effort, you're only going to play 25 minutes tonight because you don't have it tonight. Michael Porter Jr., I feel like he got pulled, but not early enough. You're hey, if you guys don't want to play, I'm going to send people out there that do want to play, and you just give them longer run. They weren't winning this game. You saw that very early. So you do it in different ways where you try to motivate the guys, especially when you're down, especially when you have some vets that are out there playing right now. Russell Westbrook played, Jamal, Michael Porter Jr., they're not young guys anymore. DeAndre Jordan's on the team. You use your vets in those type of ways, and then you have a young bunch that you could say, we're going to just give them longer runs since they want to get out there and compete. So I just feel like Michael Malone has to get back to those type of things to try to motivate guys, because I think that you have to pull on different levers, and right now that's what it might be for a Jamal or for Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, and the thing I wonder, Jamal arrived to Michael Malone. He's only ever played for him. And I do wonder, this is a truth of the NBA. Because these guys make so much money and they get all the fame and everything else, it's hard to tell veteran players what to do. It's really hard in the NBA. And there is a part of me that wonders, can Malone, by the nature of their relationship, just being the only coach he's played for, can he get more out of it? Can Michael Malone walk into the hotel today, call him down and say, hey, man, come over. What's going on?
Yeah.
Because you can't be this guy. It's offensive. is that moment gone? I don't know. But it is something I hear all the time from different, people around the league of like, hey, coaches have a hard time when they've been with a guy too long. You just no longer
I'm
can
sure
tell
there
them.
was a time where you could have done it, but this is Murray's second max contract and he's a champion, so it gets a little different. I do think we have seen kind of cracks in Malone's patience answering some questions to us in the media about this topic. I think in years past, he was very, very, very effusively defensive of Jamal at all times. I think even there was a point in this preseason where he was trying, honestly, it was supposed to be a compliment. It was about how Murray used to will himself to winning those buzzer beater tests. But there was a but, though. But I don't know if Jamal was ever the best conditioned, and he threw that in there. And I look, man,
they have no. Everybody has come out. And that's why I don't know why people always get mad at.
Is frustrated too, man. Like is frustrated too. So if Malone is not able to do that anymore, I would imagine that's a big part of the frustration you see on his face during those second quarters.
All right, let's get to Super Chats. Let's hear what the people had to tell us about this game.
You're going to love it.
Oh, man, we got a lot of them. Real ones paying some money here.
Sasha N, time for Time Lord.
California money.
I don't think that's it. Time for Time Lord.
No?
Make it happen, Booth. Plus, I am coming down to Denver from Canada.
California.
You did. Oh, I thought you were joking. Yeah, no, it's
Canadian.
You were like, what do you
I'm
mean it's not
Canadian.
Californian? It's not. It's Canadian. Time for Time Lord. Make it happen, Booth. Plus, I'm coming down to Denver from Canada on my birthday again in January.
Let's go.
We'll see you then, Sasha.
Come party with us at the bar.
Peter Duck. Honestly, some players look like they don't want to be playing out there without Jokic.
That's what it looked like tonight, man.
I agree.
They're like, Jokic's not here, night off.
Totally. How can you lose to the dead men walking Pelicans than the Grizz?
So true. The Pelicans. Oh.
Solo Pearl Commenti. Coaching also a problem if it works only with Yoke. I think there's something to that too.
There's definitely something to it. What's PLNs
definitely
now?
something
Big brain?
Brother, I don't know. All I said was
What are PLNs?
I was mildly confident you were wrong about California dollars. That was as confident as I get. Jokic just
Polish.
missed.
There's a lot slutties.
Maul and Zeke sucked. Welp, vote. I got a raise. Congrats, brother.
Hell yeah, let's
you deserve
go.
It. You should come to Las Vegas for the Cup, brother. I don't think the Nuggets will be playing for it.
You never know. This was not a cup game.
And no, Kale, guys, only if we make it to the end.
Well, yeah.
No, Kale.
No, Kale.
Ken Patterson. Murray, 13 points in 37 minutes. Jay Huff, 10 points in 12 minutes.
That's good.
That's the one. That is the one. Ivan, MBJ62, be on Jamal's ass every day. He's playing worse than Jordan Poole after being overpaid for a chip. Meanwhile, Golden State Warriors pay luxury tax for years, traded Poole, Clay, and got good role players and have system.
I mean, the Nuggets have a system. Let's not kid ourselves there. But all the other points about Jamal, just facts, man. Worse than Jordan Poole. We are down bad right now.
We're down bad.
I mean,
Might be worse than Scottie Pippen Jr. at the moment.
probably a long list, man. That's the thing.
a really long
Van
list.
Damage. What is going on with Murray? This can't really all just be his conditioning.
I mean, I do think it is. Like, again, I've said this a lot. He does not look like a superstar NBA player physically. I don't think he's out of shape like his lungs are tired, but I also don't think he looks like Desmond Bane with those guns.
He does not. I would agree with that. Joe in Philly. But Desmond Bane might need to chill out on the curls, though.
He really does. The short arms accentuated too, Like he just is all time. Looks like he's flexing it when he runs down the court.
At some point,
I kind of like Bane.
At some point, he's going to go to shoot a three, and something's just going to be off. It's just like, you're too big today. Joe in Philly, been rewatching the 23 Western Conference Finals versus the Lakers. The Jamal Murray in those games is an entirely different player than the guy we see now. Can't contend this way.
I'm telling you, this is what's about it, man, is we actually see what Jamal can be.
And it's Dean again. Dean Georgis? Maybe Jamal is mentally done with the sport. I hope the contract would do it, or he did, or playoffs, but he's done.
I mean, I'm telling you, that part I think is fair to at least ask, man. He's got to rediscover his love.
Incredible. For real.
Okay.
Post-nut clarity.
Like a player.
We might have overpaid MPJ and Jamal.
Like, bro, no.
Big Honey, I'm genuinely sad that it's come to this with Maul. I love him and everything he's done for us, but it's getting harder and harder to defend him.
I mean, it's impossible. I mean, we just did 5 minutes. We didn't bring up Jamal in that part.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nelson Reed, the reasons you can't have sympathy for Jamal is because when he does do good, people in the media like Matt Moore try to give him his flowers, but then he shows his arrogant attitude, so he leaves no room for bad games.
That's why I think there's a connection there. People got real mad at one of the tweets I had over the summer where I said, I don't know if he's going to grow or something like that, and people got really mad. Like, Again, it's my job to report what I see, observe, and hear.
Also, man, just press conferences are part of the process. The criticism, the questions you don't like, it's all part of it, man. It's not a minimum wage job.
And those things, like, there's like, to me, I see a parallel to those. They're not wholly separate.
No,
I see a parallel of like, yeah, is this... You got to take ownership of who and what you are in life, and when you're in pro sports, it's a public thing, and you got to be like, hey, I got to be better. I got to be this. I got to show people. Like, I know I always love the stories. Like Clay comes back right to the Chase Center. Is that what it was?
Sure.
He comes in whatever it is that the arena is now, and all of the staff is there. All of the staff, the ushers, the security and stuff. You know, like I love those stories. Some people they connect like that. Others people don't.
Yep. Chunk Dickwell's burner. Our rebounding and shot making the last 2 games reminded me why fish don't play basketball. Why do you ask? Because they're scared of the net.
He's good.
He's
good.
He is
Chunk
good.
Dickwell's burner.
What do you guys do when the game gets away from the Nuggets? Chunk starts... He gets to the notebook. He just
We got
starts,
the best fans, man. We got the best fans. You
Carlos
guys rule.
Romero. Watching Jamal play basketball the last several months has been god-awful. Seeing him keep going to his post-up game is beyond torture.
He loves his post game, not working at the moment.
Post-nut clarity. This 2 losses solidifies Jokic's MVP case, MV4.
Man, sad. We were joking about that on the live stream. It kind of does, but it also doesn't, because they're going to have to be a top 3 seed to do it. And these 2 games made it way harder to be a top 3 seed, but we'll see. I mean, it's no question he is actually the most valuable player. But to win the MVP award, it's like a different criteria.
Andrew Boley, wild that Jamal has more turnovers this season than he does 3-pointers made.
Is that a true fact? I gotta fact check this.
Seems like a great pull.
It doesn't
Boley.
sound like a thing you would just make up, though.
He did have 5 tonight. Ulysses Ventura, experience these games now rather than later. I mean, look, if I could choose, that is true. If I could choose, we wouldn't experience them at all.
Never.
Walter
Man,
Worthy.
18 turnovers, 16 threes. Oh, why did you have to bring that to my attention? Thank you, though. It's a great stat.
Walter Worthy. No one expects much with Joker and AEG out, but looking like a G League team is unacceptable, especially if you still have 2 max players on the floor.
100%.
Look, it is, but again, like acceptability has nothing to do with it. Like, it's just the way that it is, the way it's been for a long time. And Jokic will come back and we'll feel like the starters are good enough. But I agree. We're on a long, long run of the non-Jokic minutes just not being anywhere close to good enough. You're right to be upset, for sure. It feels like Murray goes into every game with the mentality, how can I win this game with as little effort as possible? You're not that game, bro. Not that guy, bro.
Yeah, I feel like that's, sadly true. Accurate report. Is that all of them? Hey, everybody in the chat right now, everybody watching that's not chatting, give yourself a little pat on the back. Real one, man. Hanging out with us through thick and thin. What do we always say our motto is here? We suffer together.
Suffer together.
We suffer together because every now and then we get to parade together. And those moments make it all worth it. But even through the losses, we have our friendship, we have our conversation, and we had 5 minutes of optimism. Somehow. Everybody, we've been live for 5 straight hours. If you were with it all the time, you're a real one. Everybody hit that like button. New week starts tomorrow. We're going to be back in these same chairs talking about the Nuggets. And I don't know, but I would think Jokic is back on Tuesday. We can reset the clock a little bit. Might be chapter 4. Might have had a middle. Maybe chapter 3 was a mini 2-game chapter here that really sucked.
Adam will never stop dividing the calendar into or chapters.
That's so true. I told you I already have like 7. There's 7 seasons. There's not 4.
Dude, an editor would hate you.